Have you ever heard the saying, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog? Well, today we're diving into a story that proves just that. It's a tale of an outnumbered army that faced impossible odds, but chose to count their own numbers, not their chances of survival. This is the story of the Battle of Shiroyama, the last stand of the samurai. Picture this. It's September 1877 in Kagoshima, Japan. The age of the samurai is fading. The new Imperial Japanese Army, armed with modern rifles and cannons, is sweeping across the land. But a small band of traditional warriors, led by the legendary Seigo Takamori, refuses to let their way of life die. They are the last of their kind, clinging to the old ways of honor, sword, and bow. After months of rebellion and retreat, Saigo's forces have been decimated. What's once an army of thousands has been whittled down to just 500 samurai. They find themselves cornered on a hill called Below them, a modern army of 30,000 Imperial soldiers has them completely surrounded. 30,000 against 500! The odds weren't just bad, they were non-existent. Any military strategist would tell you to surrender. Any sane person would say the fight was over. But Seigo and his men weren't just any people. They were samurai. Surrender was not an option. For them, it was about how you faced the end. It was about honor.
That night, under the moonlight, they shared a final meal, drank sake, and sang songs.
They weren't mourning their fate. They were celebrating their lives and the good they lived by. They knew they were going to die, but they would die on their own terms. As dawn broke, the Imperial Army began its final assault.
Cannons roared, and a storm of bullets rained down on the hill.
The samurai didn't cower. Instead, Saigo drew his sword, and with a final, earth-shattering battle cry, he led his men in a downhill charge. Can you imagine the sight? 500 warriors with swords drawn, charging headfirst into a wall of 30,000 rifles. It was a suicidal, glorious, and utterly terrifying charge. They crashed into the Imperial lines, their katanas flashing, cutting down soldier after soldier in a whirlwind of steel. For a brief, insane moment, the ancient way of the warrior held its own against the modern world. The Imperial troops, despite their overwhelming numbers and superior firepower, were momentarily thrown into chaos by the sheer ferocity of the charge. But it couldn't last. The numbers were just too great. One by one, the samurai fell. Saigo himself was struck by a bullet. According to legend, a loyal follower helped him commit the ritual suicide of a samurai to preserve his honor in death. With their leader gone, the last remaining samurai drew their swords and made one final charge, fighting until every single one of them was cut down. By the end of the day, the rebellion was over. The age of the samurai had truly come to a close. But the story of the Battle of Shiroyama lives on. It's a powerful reminder that victory isn't always about winning the battle. Sometimes it's about staying true to who you are, even in the face of certain defeat. They counted their numbers, the 500 brothers in arms, standing with them not, the impossible chances stacked against them. And in doing so, they achieved a different kind of victory.
Immortality in the pages of history.
What do selfish end or the most honorable one possible? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this story, make sure to like and subscribe for more Tailies from history. See you next time.